All right. Hi, everyone. It's Ilka. I'm the designer of Space Cubes. Yesterday, we did a playthrough in Tabletop Simulator doing with Nicole and Tanya. We played a free player game. Today, I'd like to do one in English. Well, yesterday we did one in German. Today, I'd like to do one in English, but I'm doing it solo. Um, Sadly, the companions are not yet ready to show to be demonstrated, so I do one using multiple characters. What's that? Okay. So the idea of Space Cubes is you are stranded. Well, you are a crew of a research vessel and stranded in space, and you need to find inside your own spaceship well, search different rooms and you need find spare parts to repair your control station. Then you win the game. Problem is, each round, each character rolls a cube spawner, which means when I roll a 6 inside the room 6, a cube will show up, and the next player rolls, or next character, means in room 2, one will show up. If I ever happen to roll the same number within the same round twice, means let's say we played with three players and the 2 gets rolled twice, then another cube will show up in room 2 and a breach will occur. A breach basically is, as the graphics show, it's a big hole in the wall, and if the next one would roll the 2 while the room is breached, 2 cubes would show up because it's, yeah, lots of room to get into inside too. So yeah, that's what breaches mean. I will explain them again while the game goes on, and I think it's easier to follow when I just start playing and try to explain what's happening on the screen instead of giving a large introduction without playing. So I'd like to play a well, maybe I'll do a solo with 3 characters or maybe 2, I don't know. Let me think. Maybe it's better if I play with 2 characters, the yellow one and the blue one, so I can don't have to rotate the camera that often. I don't suggest playing with just one character because the balancing doesn't work like that, which is why I am currently designing the companions. Unless, well, let's say you don't want to play double-handed, then you can play with a companion, which will be a dog or a cat. They don't have an inventory system to manage and are a little bit different. So you basically still play 2 characters, but the second one is a little bit easier to handle. So it doesn't feel like playing double-handed. It's basically a part of your character. Okay, so let's start with the blue character. It's the pilot, and the yellow one is the mechanic. After initial setup, which means you lay out the cards as shown in the tutorial, or if you want to do so in for the scenarios, which will be a given setup, a specific setup. Maybe the rooms will look different in the scenario. Maybe I will say build the scenario like this, so the rooms are differently connected. Or if you want to do a free play, you can do as you like, as long as each room is accessible. So after doing so, you mix, you shuffle these cards. The each deck, these are 5 decks. Each deck has maximum of 1 spare part, so it means there are 3 spare parts. And the other 2 have teleporters inside. And these cards will not be on top; they will be somewhere in the middle. If you wanna, I suggest mixing them in the lower part, so they will be in on the 8 cards. They will be somewhere at the last card or between the 4th and so on. But I mix them somewhere in the middle, so this will not take too long. Okay, after the setup, you roll this dice for an initial threat. Each player rolls it once, so I mean 1 cube shows up here. Then the next one shows up in room number 6. So now it's the player's turn. and you basically go as the turn or the gameplay overview will show you. Sorry, this is all in German. I didn't prepare the English version here in Tabletop. But you can, if you want to check it out, I have the with the old graphics a demo version on Tabletop. But this one are the updated versions, which are not AI graphics anymore. This is from the artist Stefan Sonnberger. Okay, so now each player has two actions to do so. They can move, they can attack, they can do a room action, they can do an item action, they can trade with each other, they can get up or help up if someone happens to have 0 health, and they can repair rooms if they happen to be breached, but that will cost 2 actions. If an action ever shows this bird action, that means it's a free action. This will not cost me an action from my 2. So I'll do a move action first. Maybe it's better I put this card somewhere here in the middle so you can maybe try to follow, even though most of you will not be able to read it. But at least this helps a little bit. So I'll do the move action first. That means blue player can move up to 2 rooms. That's 1 room and that's 2 room. The move action is the only one you can pause to do something else. Let's say another cube would have spawned here. I can move 1, pause my move action, do an attack action in the middle, and then finish my move action. That way you can a little bit be a little bit easier without finishing your turn here. So you can basically decide if you want to stay here or just finish up where you wanted to go. So I go 1, 2, that's 1 action, the move action, and then use my second action to attack. I will rename that attack action. That basically will be something like what's in English? Basically chase away the enemy, because it's a little bit easier for kids to, if it's not called attack, maybe it's a little bit more kids friendly. So I'll do the attack action, but for now, so I removed the cube. I have no weapon equipped, means I can remove 1 cube for 1 action. This will be modified depending on my weapon I have later on, but currently I don't have. So that's the 2 actions the pilot had. That's all she had. She has a permanent ability and a one-time ability, but I will explain that in the next turn. So the engineer, or no, the mechanic, it's the one, goes 1, 2, and there is no cube to attack, and that one is out of reach. So I will do the search room action inside the yellow room, inside the workshop. The other one would be repair a breach token, but there is currently no breach token, so that action currently doesn't help. So I'll just pick 1 card, flip it over, and see it's a protein bar. That's an inventory item. I have 4 inventory slots around the character card. If I ever want to use it, it's a free action, and it would heal me 1 life or 1 health, and then it would be discarded. It's a one-time item. But currently I don't need it, so I just put it on into my inventory. That's 2 actions for the mechanic. Then it's the cube's turn. Basically what we did is this one. Now it's the cube's turn. Cube's turn means they attack first and then move. If there would be a player inside the room, the player would take damage, and then the cube would move towards the closest adjacent room. So towards the drive, which is the machine, the engine room. But if no player is inside the room gets destroyed, or basically a breach token is laid on, and then he moves, or the cube moves. So this one is has a breach token. This, next time someone rolls a 6, 2 cubes will show up. That's the only cube survived, so the cubes get rolled. First the blue player rolls, it's a 4. Where's the 4? Here is 4. And this is a little bit confusing. Inside the rulebook, I say if 2 cubes show up in the same room, in the same round, then a breach token will occur. But this one moved from this room to this room basically means he's somewhere here, and this one squeezed in from the outside, so that's a little bit different. If another one would squeeze from the outside, from space, then a breach token. So it doesn't matter how many cubes are inside the room already. It always matters from where they are coming from for the breach token, and if they damage the room. So here are now 2 cubes. So the yellow player rolls, or yellow character. It's another 4. Perfect. So that means now 2 showed up from the outside space within the same round. So the room gets a breach token. And if this breach token ever happens to be on a room where a player is in, the player loses immediately 1 oxygen because of the shock moment. Okay, but that's it. We rolled the dice twice. Then this was this one, step 5, and then it basically asks if the game hasn't ended. It's player's turn. Step 1 is could maybe trigger later on, but just to explain that a little bit, what means starting of each round. If you ever play with the fusion core, there is an effect that happens before the players start their turn. Basically, that means the fusion core would lose 1 health each round if, yeah, I didn't place the magnetic points there, didn't I? Did I? Yeah. Yeah, basically that would mean it would, yeah, damage itself, but the engine room does not. Okay, so it's the player's turn. Player again. Now the starting player token goes to the next character, so the mechanic starts first. And as you can see, the character starts in a room with a breach token. It loses another oxygen, unless someone would start before the mechanic and would come to 8. But that's basically how you lose oxygen. Once by getting a breach token on top of your head, and if you start your turn on a room with a breach token. So now the engineer or the mechanic does not have a weapon to fight 3 cubes, but you could use 2 actions to remove 2. But that means 1 cube would stay and damage us next turn, and the breach token would also let us lose another oxygen next round. So I guess I don't want to stay there. So I move 1, 2 and search the med lab for hopefully a weapon, which is not a weapon. Yeah, that's bad. The Pigagoo card means it's an event card on top, on the left top side. Means it happens immediately, and placing a cube inside my room. And then it gets discarded. That's basically all that this card does. I have a difficulty module in the stretch goals, which lets them basically has a severe variation of this card, which lets them also attack in the same round. But this is the little bit easier one, which just spawn in and will attack next turn. But the problem is the mechanic moved 1. That's 1 action. Draw a card, that's the 2nd action. So the mechanic is done and basically did nothing. So the pilot attacks 1. That's the 1st action. The 2nd action is drawing a card. Hopefully that one is a weapon, which is not. And now I'm doubting that I shuffled these card decks well enough. But yeah, it is what it is. Another one spawns in. Okay. Yeah, it's a bad start. Okay. That was our turns. I'm not going to use the one-time ability of her. The pilot has a one-time ability to give one crew member, she is also included, 2 actions, no matter if they are in it's their turn or not. But the thing is, I could either give the mechanic 2 actions or myself 2 actions, but without a weapon, I don't want to waste it right now, so I'll just ignore that for now. Okay, so the cubes are, it's the cube's turn. They deal 1 damage. I'll take yellow player, the mechanic, take the damage because she can heal herself later. So she loses 1 health. The cubes move 1 forward. This room already is breached, so there is not going to get a second breach token on top. 1 is maximum per round. Then all 3 move. And next round they will move inside here, and next round they will deal 1 damage each, would be 4. Okay, but currently they are standing here. Now each player has to roll the die. That's a 6 on top of a breach token, so 2 will show up. Then roll that again. Let's roll it a little more. Another 6. Great. Yeah, I think this will be a rather short demonstration. Okay. Then it's the pilot's turn again. Okay, so we so desperately need to find weapons. So let's try again. It's a bandage. Yeah, that's not great. Let's try again. You can use the same action twice if you want to. So it basically means you can search the room action as the room as many actions as you have. So that's a teleport transponder. That's good to know because when a teleport transponder is inside that deck, that means the rest of the cards are not the spare parts. So I can either let that deck stay there and try to go to the other ones and look for spare parts, or hope for a weapon or something, another useful item in the deck. But that was my 2 actions. Yeah, that's bad. So let's say okay, the mechanic heals herself for 1. Then I'll move in for 1. Pause my move action. Attack 1 with my second action. And then go on moving another 1 with to finish up my movement action and wait in the engine room because they will move basically into me. Is that smart? I don't think it's a smart idea, but let's see what happens. Okay, then each player had their 2 actions. It's Cube's turn. Cubes will damage that room or make a breach. All move inside. These all will also move towards the closest way, towards the engine room. And then we roll the die again. Let's put the die here because it's easier to see. It's a 1. Room 1 has 1. Then that's another 6. Oh yeah. That's going to escalate quickly. Okay, then the mechanic starts. The mechanic attacks twice, so it's 1, 2. That's 2 actions, and she's done. This one will be a little bit special. I'll speak about it in a minute. Okay, so the pilot removes this 1 for an action, and then uses the teleporter. The teleporter means there's a action symbol on there. Spend an action to teleport into any room instead of walking. So I can basically reach any room with 1 action. Problem is, and it doesn't get discarded. Problem is, when I do that, that would be my second action. But the problem is I need to use my, let's do it. I'm using my one-time action to get another 2 actions, so I can hopefully find a weapon quickly and then come to help the yellow player. So this room is the storage room. It's a little bit different than the other rooms. It doesn't have a, it only has 1 room ability, and that means when searching the deck, draw 2 cards, pick one, and put the other one underneath the deck. So it's basically a quicker method to go through these cards. So I'll draw 1, 2, flip both over, and as you can see, there's another Pigagoo. I really had bad luck shuffling those. I don't wanna, I don't want it. So I take it, put it underneath the deck, and well, underneath it. So I'll take the impulse, or basically it's an impulse pistol. That's quite a bad weapon. It also just removes 1, doesn't need any energy, but at least I now have range. But I'll do that again in hopes to find a better weapon. So I'll draw 2 cards again, flip them over. Okay, that's, yeah. Normally I'd like to pick a weapon because the weapon isn't bad, but now we already found a spare part, and this one can't be dropped. So if you would drop that, you would not be able to finish the game. So I of course take the spare part because that already means we are halfway through the mission. But now means I can't pick the melee weapon because I have to put one underneath. So not really better equipped now, even though I wasted my 2 extra actions. Okay, that's going not very really well. But that also means I already searched the deck and found the spare part which could be underneath, so there is no more spare part inside this deck as well. And there is also not a teleporter, so means this one and this one is searched, so another spare part could be here, another one here, or here. I just need a little bit of luck to find that. So it's the cube's turn. If a cube starts their turn inside a room with a player, the player gets damage. So yellow player loses 1 health. But inside the machine, or inside the engine room, it's a little bit different because there is no more way to go, so they just stay here. If there wasn't a player, the room would take 1 damage, and then the cube would vanish. It would go away. It would squeeze their way out because basically mission accomplished. So it's a little bit different in this room, but the player defending the engine room also means the cube will stay and attack next round again and again and again if I don't fight back. Okay, so these rooms are already breached, they move. This is already also breached, they move. As you can see, I will have a little bit problems here without a weapon, and I can't search this room, so I need the pilot to help me, but the pilot also isn't really well equipped. Yeah, but whatever, it's the pilot's turn. The pilot tries 1 more time to hopefully find a weapon. 1, 2, and finally it's the blaster, but I have to drop this one. If you ever happen to find 2 ranged weapons, you have to pick one, and the other one gets dropped out of the game. You can't give it to another player or drop inside the room. It basically goes up to the discard pile. This one is shuffled back, or not shuffled, put underneath the deck, as the card says. So I now have a ranged weapon. It will cost me 1 energy to fire. It has a range of 0 to 1. 0 means your room, 1 is an adjacent room. Only if the doors are connected, so I can't shoot from here to inside here, because there is no door on this side. and it has damage value of 2. This means I can deal a maximum or remove a maximum of 2 cubes with one shot, with one action. Okay, that was 1. I now use my teleporter with the second action inside this room, so I could take the damage or the mechanic. I don't know. We see because I have a bandage. But that would be my second action, and then the mechanic's turn. The mechanic removes this one, and then what? You know what? The mechanic doesn't remove it. The mechanic goes. Yeah, 1, 2. I'll just move past them, and it doesn't matter that this room has a breach on it. Passing by doesn't remove oxygen. It's really just if you start your turn inside the room with a breach or it spawns on top of your head, I can easily pass through. No enemy or breach token can stop you from doing so. So that would be my first action. With the second action, I'll hope to find a weapon here. So let's draw it. It's also a blaster. That's great. But that's my second action. All right, let's see how it goes. Then blue player takes a damage and the cube stays there. The other ones move inside. This one moves to the middle, and then we roll again. Oh, did I spawn new cubes last turn? I think I forgot. Whatever, it's already bad enough. Then the next roll, it's another 6. Oh yeah. Okay, I really have bad luck rolling right now. Maybe I should roll physically. That's... I don't know if this will help. Okay, so it's the mechanic's turn. The mechanic uses 1 energy to shoot with a blaster once. So removing, well, let's talk about range and damage. So these 2 rooms are adjacent. That would be range 1. If this cube would happen to be inside my room, I also could shoot in a straight line, meaning I can remove 1 inside my own room and another one in an adjacent room, as long as I can make a straight line. If this one would be here, I can't shoot once here and once here because that's 2 different rooms, and I can't draw a straight line. But if they are inside the same room, that's no problem at all. And if they would be in my room, I also could do that. But so I shoot 1, remove 2. Then I could, yeah, tricky. I can't really help him here because I can move here, but then I don't have an action to shoot. So, well, bad luck. I draw a card. And it's an energy loading device. I don't know what I called it in English. It's a permanent item, so it doesn't get discarded after that. I can use an action to fill up my energy. So it's a great weapon for someone who uses energy and basically a tool. Yeah, that's my second action. So the pilot's turn. The pilot shoots once with her first action, removing 2 cubes, and with a second action, removing another 2. So only 1 is left behind. So that was 2 shooting twice. So that means I have 0 energy right now. And it's only 1 cube, so I will survive that easily. I also have the bandage, so I can heal myself up after this. Then it's the cube's turn. The cube deals 1 damage to the pilot. Then stays there. This room already is breached, so these move. Then we roll the die. it's the 8. Finally something else, but not really better. So let's do physical roll. It's a 3. It goes down there. Okay, then it's the pilot's turn again. The pilot, of course, doesn't have energy now, so she cannot use the blaster. But as long as you have, well, you still can do melee, even though you don't have a melee weapon, which means I can remove 1 cube with an action. The thing is, do I want to do that? I think I have to, because I'm not nowhere near to win the game. I basically just reacting to defend the not losing, but I'm not really getting anywhere near to search the decks for the item I need, for the second item I need. But just to show you, I use the teleporter with my first action, teleporting inside the control station, and use my second action to insert the first spare part using repair action here. So 1 of 2 spare parts are inserted, and that would be my 2 actions. And I don't have energy to shoot, so I don't have, I also don't have actions left to heal myself. So I just stay here, but I will explain in a bit why I did that. So it's the mechanic's turn. The mechanic should, well, I have no option to just shoot. So I just remove my cube, shooting once inside this room. And then with a second action, I use the energy loading device and fill up my energy. That's that. Cube's turn. Now, you can see what Cube does. So the Cube starts this turn inside here. This one, the machine room loses 1 health, but then goes away. And then these are moving. This one is doing a breach and then moving. And maybe another important thing to say, if a cube is inside this room, the shortest route is the same to the left and to the right. And if this ever happens, so it's equally far away, it chooses the lower number. If inside this room happen to be 2 cubes, they will split. One goes to the lower, the next one goes to the higher. And if it would ever be a third option or whatever, then would the first one go to the lower, the second one goes to the next higher number, and the other one goes to the next higher number. And that's basically what shortest route means. Yeah, now rolling the die again. At a 2, rolling it again. At a 1, and then it's the turn of the engineer. Mechanic. I keep saying engineer because the backside of this card is an engineer, just so you know. Each card is double-sided. These are not just gender swap in male and female. Each of them have a different role to play, different abilities, and sometimes different values in health and oxygen and energy. The engineer, for example, has 3 energy and 2 oxygen. The mechanic has 3 oxygen and just 2 energy. The other side of the pilot is the guard. The other side of the what is it? A researcher would be a medic, and if on the chef on the other side is a botanist. Yeah. Okay, maybe the combination of pilot and mechanic isn't that great. Maybe they don't go well together. I'll leave it up to you what combination you want to use. Some combinations are easier than others, but that's basically to challenge yourself to do worse combinations with maybe worse room combinations, because each of these rooms also has a backside with different effects. This is a workshop. This is a weapons control room. This is a hydroponics, and the backside is a what it's called, galley. Then maybe the storage room on the other side. It's a what's called, I don't know, freighter room or something like that. That's the cryo chamber, and the backside is the barracks. This is a med lab, and the backside is a life support. Yeah, that's the bridge. The other side is a command center, which has different rooms. I mean, doors. The bridge, for example, has one doorway on the left, and the command center, for example, has one doorway on the left and top and bottom. So you can build them differently. Or the storage room, for example, has doors on all sides, on all 4 sides, but the freighter room has a doorway on just 3 sides. So you can, yeah, it depends how you set up, then basically blocking off doors. Same goes for the corridors. The corridors all come with one side with 4 doorways, and the other side is blocked off. That's on the left side is blocked off. This one has on the back, on another side blocked off, and here this has on the top blocked off. It's up to you how you want to experiment and build your spaceship to get different ways. And the fusion core, for example, has on top and the bottom, but the machine room has one on the right. So the fusion core also is a little bit harder to defend because they have 2 sides where the cubes will move in. Yeah, let's play this to finish this up, to wrap this up, because I think I will not last very long. But we are not doing so bad either. Okay, we rolled, I think, right? I lost a little bit track, so let's say it's pilot's turn, I believe. So the pilot has no energy. And the weapon, yeah, whatever. So basically I'm just bandaging myself, going to full health. And her permanent ability would be to do a free action, or free action to move 1 adjacent room. So she basically can move 1 for free, do whatever she want, and still could basically move 1 free and still has had 2 actions. But currently there is no way for me where to go, where I want to go. Or do I? Maybe I do. I want to. Let's do. I'll move my use my free movement action here, and then still have 1 action left, right? So I can remove 1 cube because the mechanic still has her blaster and full energy now, so she can shoot 1, 2, removing 2 cubes for 1 energy, right? And then what I basically tried to tell earlier, she shoots again because she can build a line from here to here, removing this and this one for another shot and removing the energy to 0. And that's basically 2 actions. So it's the cube's turn again. Cube damages this room, moves forward. This one moves just forward. Then we get to roll again. It's a 7 or 7. It's here. And it's also the example where this cube moved and this one spawned in. So no breach token happens. But if I roll a 7 again, a breach will occur. That's a 1. Go away. Oh, 1. And then the mechanic's turn. The mechanic now has no energy. So she uses her energy device, loading device, whatever, to fill up, then using 1 to shoot, removing this cube and this cube. And that's 2 actions from her. Now the pilot starts in the room without oxygen, so removing 1 oxygen. I could repair that room for 2 actions, and I'm most likely going to do that to show that it costs 2 actions. That's the room repair. I don't have a repair tools kit or something. If it would be the mechanic, her permanent ability is to get a reduced action cost of 1. It means she can repair for just 1 action, but it's not her turn. So I remove this one, or repair, with a pilot. And yeah, that's about it. It's also worth mentioning, when the pilot would be in the same room, or differently, let's say the engineer would, or the mechanic would be in this room, she can use her loading device to fill up the energy of the pilot, because she's in the same room. You don't necessarily need to trade items with each other. You can also use your item on another character within reach to basically save actions. Because if I would trade it, that's 1 action to trade, and then the next round the pilot needs to activate it for another action. That's a total of 2 actions. But if I just happen to be in the same room, I could also just give it to her. I mean, use it on her. The trade action basically is more like for, let's say the mechanic doesn't have a weapon, the pilot has already a good melee weapon, but doesn't need really the range weapon. Then she trades with her to give her the weapon. Or you can also trade multiple items with 1 character. Maybe I give her in the same trade action the teleporter, so that she can teleport around. But currently there's no need for that. So yeah, that's 2 actions of the mechanic, right? And 2 actions of the pilot. So it's Cube's turn. Cube damages this room, and as you can see, we already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If 3 more rooms get destroyed, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Am I missing a token? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. I think I have a token too much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 5, 6. No. Okay, I'm just unable to count. Okay, that means the moving, right? 1, 1, then rolling the die again. Let's do a physical roll. That's a 2. 2 showing up. And if you are unable to repair those, you will get overrun sooner or later. Especially when you don't have good melee weapons or any weapon. And I just had bad luck with the Pikachu cards that spawned in way too early. So I wasn't really able to fight them. And okay, that's the situation. So it's the pilot's turn. And now, being the pilot, I will ignore this cube here, because we still need spare parts. That's bad. Okay, I'll do a side step with this permanent ability of her. Then still having 2 actions left, so I repair this room for 2 actions. Not the best option, because but I'm repairing this token here, because this repair ability currently is disabled while this one is here. So I'll repair this one, and hopefully this room doesn't get destroyed next round, so I can repair a few other rooms. That was the pilot. Then the engineer, or the mechanic, shoots 1, 2. for an energy. And then, yeah, that's a little bit tricky. I think I have to recharge it, yeah. Yeah, I think I called it energy recharger or something in English. Makes more sense than loading device, right? Okay, that's 2 actions. Then it's the cubes' turn. They move. These move. Then we roll again. That's a 7 again. How lucky I am. Then let's roll again. Well, at this point, none of the numbers are really great. Okay, then it's the mechanic's turn. Whew. And as you can see, basically, it's your decision where you stay and start or end your turn, so you can manage around with your oxygen and health pretty quite a while. But if I happen to attack here and maybe a breach token comes on top of my head, then I of course will lose oxygen, and maybe I draw the Picagoo card, then another cube will show up, and maybe it was my last action. So yeah, so it's not always that easy, but you can calculate quite a bit because we don't use a die for attacking and cube attack. I kind of like it that way. We already have a friend said he wanna use the die for these attacks to have a little bit more of a randomness. But I don't know how well that balance goes, but I think this already works quite well. If you want to do it, feel free to house rule it. Okay, then next up we have the mechanic, right? Yeah, man, I need a melee weapon. I don't know if I should keep searching or not. But if I search now, I will not be able to remove those. So I think I just shoot twice. 1, 2. 1, 2. That's a total of 2 energy. And basically just hold long enough till the pilot finds a second spare part. So I hope the spare part will show up here. I just draw 1 card. That's an energy clip. That's also nice because I can use it for free to fill up my energy. So let's do that immediately. So I have full energy. That's 1 action. You know what? I'll search again. That's repair tools. That's also great. And the thing is, with the repair tools, it's also reducing the cost to by 1 to a maximum of 0. This means if I happen to have twice these tools, I do that for 0 actions. Or I give it to the mechanic, which already has basically a discount on repairing. With this tool, she has 0. So basically, you need to move in, repair that for free, keep moving, repair that for free, and that's basically how you can repair for free if you happen to have the right combination. But currently, it's on the pilot. That's the second action, and yeah, I didn't find the spare part, but also not a teleporter, so the spare part still could be inside this deck. Yeah, let's hope to defend long enough to hopefully find a spare part inside this one, because we didn't find a second teleporter yet, so it could be also a teleporter inside here. I didn't peek inside these decks. All I did is to shuffle in these teleporter and spare parts inside the middle instead of the bottom. So it's just a higher chance to be the next card or the next second card or whatever. But we'll see. So it's Cube's turn. They move. Well, move. Is there another one? No. So we roll the die. It's a 6. 6 means 2 cubes spawn in. Then another one. That's a 1, the full number. Great. then it's our turn. I mean the pilots. So let's hope the pilot picks a spare part. Great. Okay, that's really good. I can move for that's my second action. Now we just have to yeah, basically defend one more round and then we have won the game. So it's the mechanic. She has no energy left, so that's not really good. But I'll going to sacrifice the Mad Lab and move 1, 2, and then yeah, use my recharger to fill up the energy. And that's our turn. The cube is going, the cubes is going to damage the room. Move, move. Then we roll again. And even though I know I'm going to win, you still should roll because you could still lose by having all breach token in the game. I mean, we are currently just rolling twice, so this cannot happen. But I think you still should to keep up the tension. So these are 2 cubes because you also could, well, if this supply is running low, you still could lose by having all cubes inside the game. That's also could be happen in the last round. But I think we are safe now for 4. That's another cube. So now the pilot is second player. So the mechanic starts by shooting 1, 2, 3, 4, basically using 2 actions to shoot. Another, well, the mechanic is shooting while the pilot is repairing and collecting stuff. But she's doing a job quite well because she has the recharger. If she didn't have the recharger, we would end up really in a different situation. But yeah, okay. Then the pilot uses, and now let's look at these cards again. Repair, because she has a spare part, basically inserting the second card, and then using send distress signal because we have 2 parts as needed, and then boom, the game is won. You can think of opening up a big portal, and a big rescue ship arrives. They storm the ship and remove all cubes from your ship, and then basically repairing everything, and then you're good to go and you won the game. And that's Space Cubes with solo playthrough with 2 characters. It's a little bit more interesting, I think, with 3 or 4 players. But as said, I'm also working on the companions. You can also, well, the game has 2 companions included on 2 different cards. They will not have a backside. So you can play. You will also have 2 figurines for the companions. So you basically can also play with 2 characters and 2 companions if you like, or with 1 character and 2 companions, or with one character and 2 companions. It's really up to you. Or maybe 3 characters and 1 companion. That's yeah. I'll leave that choice to you. Okay, I hope you liked the playthrough. It was a little bit rough. It looked a little bit chaotic at first because we didn't had the items or the weapons to fight the cubes, and I'm didn't really get to the backside currently because I was keep defending. But I think it was the good decision to do so. The mechanic didn't repair anything because she had the weapon, and she also had the recharger. So while still you have the option to do whatever you want, sometimes you get forced into situations where you feel, I need to do this or otherwise we lose. But I mean, we still could spend an action to swap items. So I could have at any point where both characters was on both on the same room. I could have gave the blaster and the recharger to the pilot, and the pilot maybe could have gave me the repair tools, then the roles would basically be different. And maybe if I played with another one, maybe with the scientist or the researcher or the chef, the roles would be way different, maybe. Okay, that's about it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I hope you liked my playthrough. If you want to try it out, you can go to Tabletop Simulator and play a demo game of this in with the old graphics as shown here. This the rulebook is still in old graphics. Let's zoom in a little bit. That's what the mechanic looked like. This used to be a man. Etc. They looked quite different, but the game will play more or less the same with maybe a little bit minor design differences. And the cards have no backside, so you can't just flip over the card and play with the other character because it's only a demo. But yeah, I hope you still get a good sense of how the game plays, and I hope you enjoy it, and see you in the campaign. Thank you very much.